In this video, we'll be starting on page 281 with step 6. I wanted to show you how to apply the stroke to the gradient to make it look like a frame. You might want to refer to the picture at the front of your chapter on page 273. Look in the upper corner to see, upper right corner, to see what we'll be doing. That's what our goal is. So in these next several steps, I'm going to talk you through this, starting on step 6, page 281. We're going to change the colors of this gradient, this line gradient that we have here that's in the white and the blue color. And we're going to do that first by going to the far right end and double clicking on the light blue color stop. These are color stops down here. Color stops can be put in by clicking on them. If you want to get rid of one, you drag it off the color slider, the gradient slider. I'm going to double click on this one to apply a color to it. The color they'd like us to apply to this one is named Border 2. The border colors that they've arranged here are all these down here in this little area here. So I'm going to find Border 2, which is the medium brown. And that has changed the blue, the darker color in our gradient, to the brown color. Then we're going to go make a change to the white. So I'm going to double click on the white one, which brings up this window again. Instead of white, which you see is selected here, we're going to choose the Border 3 color, which is this darkest color here. And we have a color gradient there that goes from the darker brown to a more medium brown, but it's a very flat looking frame. So we want to change this further by adding another color stop in here. To add another color stop, oh, by the way, to get this little swatch window to go away when you're done, you can hit the escape key on your keyboard. Now there's a couple different ways to add new color stops in here. The first one we're going to do is just come in here and click when we're close to this end. I don't want to click directly on it, but I want to move in a little bit and just click. You'll notice my mouse looks like an arrow with a plus sign next to it. So when I click, I have another color stop. Now right now that color stop is not changed the color at all. It's just taking on the appearance of whatever color was already in that position. But now that I've got, excuse me, a color stop added there, I can change the color of it. I'm going to double click again. It brings up the color swatches. Remember, there's two ways to change colors. You can use the color portion or the swatch portion. We're going to use the color portion for this one. And by adding that new color in there, we're going to tell this color to be color 1. Or excuse me, border color 1. And so now it looks much more three-dimensional. It looks like a curved frame on this image. At that point, we're at the bottom of page 281. Our image looks like the last image on that page. To finish this off, though, we're going to change the position of this, or confirm the position of this. I'm going to hit escape to get that little window to go away. Notice that's still selected because it's got a black triangle instead of a hollow triangle like the other two do. So I'm going to change the position of this one. Wherever you clicked yours, we're going to change it by typing in 80 and then hit the tab key. If you hit the tab key after you type in a text field box, it takes that information and completes the task. So that has moved to the 80% position. It's 80% of the way from the left to the right. It's 80% of the way all the way across. So that's where the 80 number comes in. Now we're going to duplicate one. We're going to look at another way to create a gradient, and that is to duplicate a gradient that we already have. We're going to drag the color stop to the left with our Option key on a Mac or Alt key on Windows, press down to make a copy of it. So the same one that we have here that we just selected, hold down either Option on a Mac or Alt key for Windows, and we're going to carry it down further. And when you do, you're getting a duplicate of it. We're going to carry it to somewhere around 35%, oh, I'm sorry, somewhere around 25% they'd like this one to go. And it looks a little bit flat here. If you didn't get it exactly at 25, you can either still position it. Now you don't need to hold the key down because you've already made the copy, or you can just go down to location and type in the 25 and again hit the tab key to make that work for you. And now we're going to duplicate a darker one and put it somewhere closer to the middle. The darkest one that we have, or the darker one that we're going to use, is the one on the far right edge. So again, I'm going to use my Alt or my Option key and grab that one and pull it over. This time we're going to pull it over to about the 35% location, somewhere like that. And again, to be more exact, you can come in here and type the 35 And now when I look at my frame, I can see that my frame has a bend to it. It looks like it's coming closer to me and then shadowy again and coming up higher. If I click off my artboard, I can see it without that red selection line showing. And that's a nice looking frame. I do know that I have one problem here. This is out of position. This really should be positioned more up in the corner. So I'm going to select it, and I'm just going to use my arrow keys on my keyboard to nudge it up into position. Now by doing it from this corner, I really don't know if I've met my goal all the way around, so I'm going to zoom back to a smaller view by double clicking on the hand tool, and then I'm going to go to the select menu and choose deselect, so nothing's selected. And now I'm looking at the edges of my window, and I can see the frame is totally covering all of the blue. It looks like it's lined up properly. And that's where we're going to stop this video.